Picture this. A superstar strolling through a European city, trying to play tough, and then getting literally chased out by fans blasting a rival diss track. Sounds wild, right? Stick around. What happened in Copenhagen says a lot about reputation, respect, and how one bad move can spiral into a full-blown public meltdown. If you enjoy deep-dive hip-hop breakdowns, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Here's the short version. Drake tried to adopt the image and artifacts of a legendary figure, and it blew up in his face. From bad jewelry to a misread crowd, the reaction made something that should have been a publicity moment into a humiliating scene. We're going to break down what happened, why it matters, and what this says about influence, authenticity, and consequences in the culture right now. Let's rewind to Copenhagen. Drake lands in a city he thought would be a soft landing, a place to perform, collect applause, and escape the heat from the ongoing Kendrick Lamar fallout. Instead, he walked into something else, a group of Kendrick supporters who turned a hallway, a sidewalk, and ultimately his exit into a stage for a taunt. Imagine it. The hum of a European evening, streetlights reflecting off wet pavement, fans gathering outside a hotel. Someone cues up a song, not a radio hit, not a Drake anthem, but a diss track aimed squarely at him. As the opening bars filled the air, the mood shifted. What was supposed to be a controlled PR moment became chaotic, embarrassing, and viral within minutes. Drake's recent attempts to place himself in the lineage of the greats, using imagery, chains, and rhetoric tied to Tupac, were always risky. You can admire, pay homage, or be inspired. But there's a fine line between reverence and impersonation. When you posture as one of the culture's tough icons without the history or the authenticity to back it up, people notice. Even worse, when experts and people who actually knew the icon point out the fakery, that posture turns into a laughingstock. Jewelry and relics are symbolic in hip-hop. They carry story and memory. So when jewelry experts and people close to Tupac publicly said the chain Drake was showing off wasn't real, and then a close friend of Tupac did a side-by-side comparison, that cut deep. It turned what might have been an edgy promotional stunt into a credibility crisis. Here's the part that's almost cinematic. Fans, some of them Kendrick supporters, started singing and dancing to a diss track right outside Drake's hotel. Not to cheer him on, but to call him out. That song became an anthem in that moment, and it followed him like a shadow. Security tried to intervene, tensions rose, and Drake retreated into his van. For a superstar who carefully curates his image, watching a crowd laugh and chant a rival's line as you bolt is brutal. This wasn't just a local booing, it was a clear public rejection. For people who remember old-school showdowns, it had a familiar rhythm. Artists who genuinely commanded respect rarely had to flee to avoid humiliation. This scene felt different. Modern, global, and fueled by social media. The world watched a performer get chased by a song. When a song hurts your image, teams move. Lawyers get involved. Notices get issued. But heavy legal moves can backfire. They draw attention to the very thing you want to bury. Drake's team allegedly used paperwork and other maneuvers to try to stop the track from being played or discussed. That just made more people curious and more people determined to play it louder. If you try to erase culture with threats, culture fights back. In this case, fans didn't retreat. They amplified. The result? A moment that was supposed to be managed exploded into a public relations train wreck. There's a deeper lesson here. Hip-hop is a living, global culture now, and its guardians are no longer just regionally based. People in Copenhagen or London don't just consume, they have opinions and standards. When someone appears to appropriate a legacy for clout, the culture reacts, sometimes very loudly. The night in Copenhagen was evidence that the culture's defense mechanisms work. Fans rallied around Kendrick and the legacy of Tupac, making it obvious where their loyalties lie. This isn't just about one artist winning or losing. It's about the rules of respect within a globalized hip-hop community. There's a narrative arc here. First the self-styled impersonation, then the exposure, then the public rejection. People started calling him names, Fake Pac. And those nicknames stuck because they fit the moment. What makes the humiliation worse is how visible and mimetic it became. Clips of the scene spread, reactions piled up, and the story morphed into a cultural punchline. I want you to picture the micro moments. Drake's face as the chorus swelled, the nervousness in the movement of his security, the van doors slamming as he left. Those little details are what make the video circulate and what make the moment land. For someone who built a brand on image control, this was a rare loss of narrative. If there's one thing you should remember from all this, it's that your public words and choices have consequences, sometimes big ones. When you publicly diss revered figures, adopt their symbols without context, or try to rewrite your biography on the fly, people notice. And in hip-hop, respect can't be bought with PR stunts or theatrical jewelry. It's earned and defended, sometimes by fans who will show up with a record and a loudspeaker. So what happens now? Expect more noise. Expect responses, rebuttals, maybe even legal skirmishes. But more importantly, expect the culture to continue to push back against anything that feels like inauthentic appropriation. This could be a turning point in Drake's current narrative. People will keep testing him, and every misstep now is amplified. Will he double down? Will he apologize? Will he try to reclaim the narrative with bigger stunts? My bet is we'll see something, probably not subtle, and the reaction will tell us everything about whether he can recover this time. What do you think? Was Copenhagen a justified public call-out or an overreaction? Does adopting elements of another artist ever make sense, or is it always disrespectful? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know what you think. Remember to like this video and subscribe. This moment is more than a viral clip. It's a lesson about legacy, credibility, and the power of a united fanbase. Whether you love Drake or not, seeing a superstar get chased by a song is a reminder that culture has agency. And for anyone trying to play at being someone they're not, beware, the culture will let you know when you cross the line. And as always, stay active.